FA Cup final, you're probably going to have to change your team for today. So I'm just wondering who you've got available for you, and if that's tomorrow.
For tomorrow.
Yes.
For today, it just got a little heart attack. If he would have played tonight, that would have been a real problem. Yeah. So yeah, this thought process is not finished yet, because we only played the 120 minutes 2 days ago. So when the boys arrive today, I have to make a lot of decisions, and then we will line up a team. What I can promise, and definitely, and say we will line up a team, and only for one reason: to try to win the game at Southampton, as difficult as it is, because that obviously is the job to do, and we have to see who is able to help. The 30 extra minutes made a big difference, but yeah, we have to see.
Just in terms of the way that it's going now, in terms of the difference between yourselves and Manchester City, there are certain echoes or parallels maybe of the season where you finished a point apart, it was 99-98 with Manchester City. So I'm just wondering, in terms of your feelings or memories from that season, in terms of you know, that final run-in, what your memories were or what your feelings were at that time. I think they won the final 14 matches in a row, and then it came down to that last game of the season where you were at home to Wolves and they were
I was last match when they played Brighton, right? And then Brighton went 1-0 up. I could hear it in the stadium. I didn't know that they were 1-0 up, but I thought probably they scored. You would, when the people got aware of it. I knew in that moment it's too early. Doesn't help. If they would have heard that sound in the 90th minute, I would have probably celebrated myself. But so it was clear that City can respond. And then there was the last home game, so we had the walk, and the only thing I felt was pride of the boys. Incredible season, wow, all these kind of things. So it was not a massive disappointment, because it was not a surprise really that it happens, but the season was more a surprise than a finishing of the season, to be honest. The way the boys performed, the way we learned to put consistency in our performances, that made all the difference. And I knew in that moment we will get another chance. So and obviously in life it's all about timing. If we would have this year already 98 points or whatever, then we could become champion. That time it was not possible with that amount of points. It's all fine. I really I'm looking forward to the game tomorrow. There's a chance, it's a big chance. I wouldn't say so, because it would mean that City, I don't know when City dropped points the last time, 2 games in a row, historically. So Aston Villa has to play in midweek. We are not used to that, so as much as I'm sure they're all professionals and these kind of things, they want to go at City, but City is a pretty good football team, so I don't expect City to drop points there, but that has no influence on our game for tomorrow. So we know, in an ideal world, we go in the last match day and are 1 point behind. That would be now from today's point of view, the perfect scenario, and that's what we try to do.
Thank you, Simon. Melissa from Sky for 2, and then we go to Julia.
Jürgen, you reflected on that tight title race you had before with Manchester City and what's evolved for Liverpool. You mentioned consistency, game management. How else have you seen your team grow since the last time you guys are in this tense battle?
I enjoy a lot of parts of our football, to be honest, in a lot of moments, but the level we played the first 25 minutes against Chelsea now in a final, that was a different level. I have to say that was again against, we all know how good Chelsea is defensively, how they closed gaps here and there in spaces. And I thought in these 25 minutes we were really outstanding, and I was really happy to see that, because that for us, we have to go from here somewhere, and this kind of football against very well organized teams, probably, yeah, for sure one of the best in the world, and being that dominant, I didn't see us doing that too often. We're getting better and better and better and better in dominating games and controlling games, but that was for me the next step. So that was really cool. Would have loved to see it for 90 minutes, but probably Chelsea too good for that, and it's absolutely fine.
one of the things that we've seen, and we speak a lot about which players could be missing against Southampton and perhaps for the Champions League final and stuff, but Liverpool relying on squad depth and players stepping up, like cost us with that winning penalty. It's not a big issue for you who you actually line up with because you can trust all of them.
Yeah. So that we sit here and we won two cup competitions, there's one reason for it, only one, and that we have this group of players out there. That's the reason that they all stayed on track, that they all stayed in line and were in training outstanding, they were involved in the squad, didn't come on, all these kind of things. The atmosphere as the group created is absolutely exceptional, was absolutely exceptional. That's why we won these two competitions, because we cannot go with all the things we fight for, that you go to the final and play always the same 11 players. So that's really not possible. So everybody has his part, and we had now only the discussion about, because we can order here publicly from the FA more medals. I cannot believe that the amount of medals is restricted. Why would you do that? So we've realized now we want to give medals to all the players, and I said, okay, then the coaches cannot have it. What? So it's really a bit tough. So, dear FA, please send some more medals. It's not a good idea. The squad's getting bigger, but the numbers stay the same. So. Do that, and that's really important that the boys did what they did. And yes, now I never felt that comfortable in doing that many changes what we did in the past. Never. It's not that I didn't want to do it. No, but I trust the boys. But are the boys ready to trust themselves? That's then the question. Do the boys looking left and right think, wow, we never played together? How will that work? But they played very often together. So because we're in training, in the periods when we have time, we have these moments where we play together. And I've told before, the one thing I think the most in a -1 session when we can go 11-11, or the -2 session when we can go 11-11, is thank God we don't play these guys tomorrow. Yeah, and that's the way we showed up in the cup competitions. And now for tomorrow we will see. How I said, the 120 minutes, we just have to make sure that we are not getting nuts with them and trying it again, forcing it again. In the end, it will be a top team, and it will Southampton try to beat us. So that's it. And if they try that, they will try, but they have to try, and then we will try to beat them as well, and then we will see.
Okay, we go Juliet and then Mike from BBC Matches. Jules.
Jurgen, back to the weekend. Off the pitch, were you aware of the booing before the match took place with Abide With Me and the national anthem by the Liverpool set of supporters? And I just wondered whether you had any thoughts or reaction to it.
Yeah, of course I had thoughts, but I think in these situations it's always the best to ask the question, why does it happen? So I know our people that well that they wouldn't do if there's no reason for it. And I'm not here, maybe not long enough, for sure not long enough to understand the reason for it. It's for sure something historical, and that's probably a question you can answer much better than I could ever. These are wonderful. Our fans, and I know few fans from other clubs see it slightly different, but the majority of our supporters are wonderful people, really smart and all these kind of things, understand, go through lows, go through highs, suffer together, all these kind of things. They wouldn't do it if there would not be a reason. That's what I know. And maybe we should ask this question. But of course I realized it, and it was not something I enjoyed or whatever. But that's the answer.
One thing you did enjoy when I spoke to you after the match, you were saying that winning the cup will make the next couple of weeks more enjoyable. I know you've just spoken about, the extra 30 minutes of the final, the penalty shootout and things, that and the other, and player concern obviously with the game tomorrow. I was just wondering, the enjoyment, what else that can bring for these final few weeks, that extra push you've got with the squad.
If we play a season like we play and we win the Carabao Cup and fight until the end for the league title, that for me is a really good season. But I don't live on my own planet, so we all share this planet, and I know that the public view is slightly different on that. And we know and we feel the responsibility as a team of Liverpool FC that we have to win trophies. So it feels much better that we won already, to be honest. And the FA Cup is obviously a massive a massive competition and winning it, and it makes it it's really felt really big, absolutely big. So it just takes pressure off the whole thing. That's what makes it more enjoyable. So now we just have to go through it. We would have lost the final. We will not be to the negative scenario. We will not become champion, and after a week preparation, and you all are not shy of reminding me that it all depends on one game, if it's a success or not, and these kind of things. So I don't say it would be massive if we could win, obviously, in a few weeks' time, 2 weeks' time, around about the Champions League. But we play against, obviously, the most experienced Champions League team on this planet. So it's not that we are massive favorites or whatever. So it's an open game, and that until then, I think every little advantage you can get is good, because they won the league already. So they had what they wanted to win, obviously, and now we have a little bit of that what we wanted to win, and a chance for the other one. So fair play. And now we can play football there. But between now and then, obviously, 2 massive games, and one of them tomorrow night.
Mike Hughes and I think Andy from PA.
Jurgen, nothing succeeds like success, and you'll take it in any way that it comes. And you've touched on it previously, but how rewarding is it for you and for the individual players and the rest of the squad when people like Kostas Tsimikas, and previously in the Carabao Cup final when Quivin Kelleher get their name in lights, when they're a big part of the squad, but they don't play every week? Players with fabulous ability. How rewarding is it for all concerned when they play such a big part?
Massively, absolutely. But I think we can take that as an education for the future. Because from next season on, we can change 5 times, so you will have more players who come on and more players who can make the difference from the bench. And we felt this year already in all the cup competitions that was a massive help, that you can bring 5 players. Imagine this final now, FA Cup final, 120 minutes, you can only change 3 times. I cannot even imagine the game with all the intensity, because I said it plenty of times, the intensity of the situations in the game increased and increased and increased and increased. We cannot stop that. We cannot tell the boys now, train them to a specific level and tell them use only 80% of it. So we know more about training, we know more about sports science, so we can get these boys in a better shape. So they use it on the pitch, but it's not possible yet that we use that then for 120 minutes and without any threats, injury-wise or whatever. So yes, I love it that the boys came on and the boys delivered and the boys contributed, because I know they contribute, but it's nice if they don't get the public reward as well. And we have all to learn, obviously, from now on, from next season on, that it's obviously as important as to start is to come on and make the difference. So if you see the lineup, the pictures of the team in the Champions League will be made before the game, not after the game. You bring out these sweating guys together and have this nice picture with what's the name of it, the badge or whatever, when they hold it before the game, Liverpool FC on it. Pennant. Could have learned that earlier, sorry. Pennant. They do the pictures of it before the game and not after the game, but maybe we should do that as well, because as important who finishes the game as who starts the game. And again, I like it that we have there a new thing to learn, a new thing to adapt to, and that will give not now particularly Kostas or Queef, but all the boys in the squad much more opportunity to show how good they are. Now we could give them the opportunity in scoring the decisive penalty now for these 2 boys. That's obviously massive, and the calmness and coolness where they did it with is absolutely incredible. So I was really happy that I didn't have to shoot it. To be honest, that was really good.
For a fabulous game.